Yeah, grab water, whatever you guys need, take a break real quick, and then we'll come back to something else. Yeah, you're good. So now, I come in, I hit. Sorry, I didn't think that was gonna work.
You didn't think that was gonna work?
So today, Tyler, if I can borrow you because you got longer legs, sorry. What I want to work on today is Ouchi Gari. So we've looked at Ouchi Gari before, right? And we know that it's the major inner reaping throw. So we know that there's Ko-Uchi from the inside trip here, but then there's O-Uchi, which is attacking this leg. So we step forward and then we're hooking this leg, right? And then the throw is in this back corner. So as I turn my partner, right? And I've tried to get us to do a real classic version of this where we come in, we sweep, and then we pull our hips around to move. That's sort of a low percentage throw. What we can do to make this throw higher percentage is we can actually hook, lift, and turn the hips. So just like we always do, pistol grip, connect, and as we pull around to the top of the triangle, this gives us access to that rear leg. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna marry my feet, back foot to front foot to the knee. As I hook, I'm just gonna keep pulling it around. And I'm just pulling, right? So that's where I want us to start, just so we can get the motion of feeling like how the circle works, and then we'll add the hands and all this other bits to it. If you were here, or you saw last week, or was it 2 weeks ago now? We did this, where we've actually used this same hook to pull them off balance, and then throw them into the Uchimata. This is that same start, so should be kind of familiar. So just go quick 5 times on that, just hook, pull, and then figure out how to circle around with that, okay? Ready, 1, 2, 3, sweet. Look at how to finish this real quick. So same thing as we circle through, right? We wanna come here and get that nice weight change. As the weight changes, that's when we're gonna attack the foot. When we attack this, now as you guys saw when we lifted and pulled, we need to then be driving our partner to that back corner. Right, so as we turn, we pull the foot with us. Here, we pull the foot and we drive into the corner. So now, here, remember we used to, or originally we were learning to plant and then turn. Now we're gonna lift and turn and drag the foot all the way to the ground, okay? So as we drag the foot, here, when we circle, we're pulling the foot to us as we pull them down and go in a circle. Until basically we put them where their foot isn't anymore, right? Does that make sense? So we pull the foot to us, hopping into a circle and putting them down on the ground, right where their foot is. So their reaction is that that leg's gonna come up and then you're gonna pull them until they can't stand up on that foot anymore because you've left it. You've taken it away from them, okay? All right, let's add that now. Ready, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now like what happens when our partner evades that technique. So victim of choice, I guess. So we're here, we pull in, just like we've been doing. We attack that back leg here. When we attack this leg, if he steps out of it before I can lift it, right? So I've missed my opportunity to hook. If it's this drastic of a change to where we're basically sideways now, I will just go to that back corner with an Osoto. So all I have to do is just start to drive this in and change the weight of his posture. So I don't want to leave him straight up and down. I want to start turning him over. As soon as I make this decision to switch to go to the back, I want to start driving my collar hand into the base of his neck. I want to get his head over his hip line. All I'm going to do is take a short step to get my balance, and then I step behind and put him down, right? This is one of the most efficient combinations from a missed Ouchi Gari. So again, we're here. We pull into the top of the triangle. I attack here, I miss, step through. And it's real fast like that because as he evades, that weight's gonna shift to that back leg and it's gonna give you all the opportunity to sweep it before he can regain his balance. The secret is to get the head and the spine misaligned. So when he evades, right, he's pretty stable here, right? He took a real sturdy step and got himself set. But now, because we're on opposite ends, it doesn't take a lot of effort for me to off balance him. It's not this big pull, like I don't have to disengage from the throw. I can stay pretty upright, good posture here, and just start to cant over his spine. Then I can finish, right? This also works if that reaction isn't as dramatic. So if I come in and he takes less of a step, it's not as big, but I can just hook behind the knee and then hop over and finish, right? So you can finish Osoto from an angle without having to get all the way behind your partner. For the drill, Uke, just go ahead and give a really big reaction so that we can all see it and then have time to process it and react to it. So here we step, push. Now, this is really big. Like, we're basically facing opposite directions. Misalign the spine, step in close so that your balance is ready, and then sweep and drive them over and keep the sleeve grip, okay? Always keep the sleeve. Questions on that? All right, let's give it a shot. Ready, 1, 2, 3. A different, same off the Ouchi, but a little different reaction this time, so I'll borrow you real quick. So again, I encourage you guys, once you learn the technique, to throw it into the complete system, from controlling the grip down to connecting, then pulling to the top of the triangle and then entering, right? This way your brain can start to attach the whole system together instead of just having chunks and segments. You have like a whole sentence you can say from the feet. So once we're here, I want to attack the same Ouchi Gari that we've been doing all day. So we're here, I attack this way as I push out. Now this time, I'm more aggressive in following, right? So the last time we hit that Ouchi Gari and then we just kind of stopped, misaligned the spine and then went backwards. This time I just want to carry the momentum into that back corner. So as we do that, I'm going to keep my collar hand active and I'm going to drive my partner into their shoulder and I'm going to keep pushing their hands together. So as we sit, push, and then I pull the foot. So as he moves from squared up to an angle, so as he goes from here to here and he takes that back step, this foot's gonna become light as the weight shifts to the back leg. I then push the foot across the body and I pull the arm down, causing him to take a seat, right? So again, from the whole system. So we get our grip, connect to the collar, step, pull to the top of the triangle, attack, sweep. Right, and again, this is where we're talking about forcing that reaction on your partner, where you want to hit that Ouchi Gari pretty much thigh to thigh to force that big step. As he steps, I don't sit back and wait, I follow with him so that I can catch the trailing leg, right? And remember, when we're sweeping, we want our foot to be turned over and we want to use the middle of our foot as kind of a hand to grab on and push our partner. We're not kicking and we're not slapping our partner's foot. Hands are all the same, so we're here. When we step and push the elbow, we want to drive the elbow in, and then we want to rotate and misalign the spine just like we did on Osoto. Right, everything's the same except now instead of stepping, we're sweeping. Hands all the same. Make sense? Good? All right, let's give it a shot. Ready, 1, 2, 3. Something even easier off Ouchi, like that's probably, the day Ashi is probably one of my favorites. It's the cleanest. It makes people feel stupid when they get thrown with it, but it's often very difficult to hit timing wise. So instead, a lot of times, especially in jiu-jitsu, when they have their hips back, right? We talked about this last week where you get this low level change. It's hard to hit footwork. Like a lot of people get nervous about trying to reach in for small throws because of the distance. That's why pulling into the top of the triangle is so effective, because if I'm here and I pull, now that foot's much closer. So now I'll take my back step, marry it here. As I come through and I try to lift the foot, he steps back. I just pull his head down and I circle him around. So if we now take that concept where I get his head over his toes and then I do a classic wrestler snap down. You think no-gi, collar sleeve, right? You pull and you snap them down as you step back. Now we can do that from this entrance. So we pull top of the triangle, we attack the leg, we pull here, we snap down.
Oh, that sucks. So bad.
If they stay upright, there's ankle picks all over the place. If we can drag them to their knees with that new IBJJF rule, we just sink behind the arms and we score an easy points, right? So the trick behind this one is as you lift, when they start to evade, change directions and start pulling them down. So here we enter. As that foot becomes light, that's when we change directions and we start whipping them down towards the empty space as we kick our hips back, okay? And you can do this from a dominant grip, collar tie, same side, anywhere you get grips on somebody. If you just go in for the Ouchi, you just start pulling them down, okay? And if you get there where you're just connected here, ankle pick and finish it, right? Some people might just go right to turtle, in which case we circle behind. If they're just like, they're heavy, pick the ankle, okay? So start using that where we go in, feel their weight change, and then start to pull them down, okay? Ready, 1, 2, 3. So everything we've looked at so far has been from the traditional right versus right. Now we'll look at what happens if we're in this left versus right configuration. And we've talked about this before, right? I've always talked about how it's like a race to get to the collar, and we want to like push and fight and hand fight and block all this stuff. No matter how much you do of that, you're still going to get somebody and you're still going to get locked up, right? And we've talked about shoving the arm through and breaking across and doing those like Yoko Wakari moves and like spinning underneath people. But if Ouchi Gari is our setup that we've been using the whole tournament and we felt pretty good about it, why not stay with it? So good collar grip. This time we're going to take a cuff grip. You could do a pistol grip, but I just think a cuff grip works better here for tension purposes. We can really build this tension on the arm. And then it's the same technique. I'm going to take my back foot to my front foot. My front foot's going to stab inside and then try to push him out to change his orientation. Right, so that same version of Ouchi that we've been using all day. But now, once he's changed over like this and I have this grip, I'm going to take my head and I'm going to go underneath this far hip. So I'm just going to spin all the way around as I drop to the top of his triangle. Here. My head is tight, my head is up, my posture's up. I'm pulling his arm over and I'm sending him across my shoulders, okay? Let's go the other way, we'll do it this way. Is that the alarm? Time to get up. So now we'll do it going this way. So again, right, we have our collar grips here. Secure the sleeve grip and then take your Ouchi step here. As we step, he's gonna change his angle to evade getting thrown. I do want to keep his head slightly over his toes. I'm not as aggressive as like we were on the last one where we were like pulling down here, but I do want to make sure that he's not just perfectly upright because then Kata Garuma doesn't work. So I do need his posture broken. And then I'm going to drop my knees to the top of this triangle, but my back knee is going to come all the way to the front. I pull across this way and then I throw him over my shoulder, okay? And then he lands at my knees, which is pretty advantageous for jiu-jitsu. So one more time on the entrance, we'll go this way. So keep the grips, step, push. From here, I want to take my back knee to the top of the triangle here as I pivot around and get underneath. Notice my head is tight to his body so that I can lift, right? If I'm really far away when I do this and I go to lift, he's able to block, and it's really hard. Even though he's short, no offense, I still can't get his feet off the ground. So imagine if it's somebody like Tyler's height, no chance I'm lifting. Here, I'm under his hips, very easy to lift, right? And then the hands, we bring them over and we dump to the side so that he falls over at our feet, or at our knees. Okay, good on this one? All right, let's go. Ready, 1, 2, 3. Thanks for that. Ouchi in a lot of different ways, right? We've used it from right versus right, we've used it from right versus left, defensive posture, offensive posture. One last thing that I really want to throw into the mix, and this can be done from either stance. I'll do it from right versus right because that's what I'm most comfortable with, but you can pull this off in any stance. So we have our grip, right? Same thing we've been doing. We pull to the top of the triangle here, and then we take that step, bang here. But now when they land, their head is over their toes, right? We've talked about going in for like an ankle pick, or we've talked about ducking in for Kata Garuma, but even simpler than that, if we just take the step to the top of the triangle here, we come underneath, we pull them up, and send them right over with a tomonage, and we land right next to them, right? Again, back to the tomonage lesson, anytime somebody makes this shape, there should be an entrance into tomonage. So here, pull, step, attack. We get this where they're making this rounded shape. You can even stay up. It doesn't have to be like over exaggerated. Anytime his head is just over his belt knot, that's enough to get tomonage. And from here, we can go on this, we can go onto the side of the hip, but I think for the ease of the technique, you just go underneath completely. So we take one step, top of the triangle, pull them over us, And then however if he wants to go that way towards the sleeve side, take him that way. You can go straight over or you can go over the corner, right? It's really just a matter of getting underneath, lifting with your hips, and then pushing them the direction of ease. So one more here, pull, step, attack, in. Good? Very simple on this one. And likewise, if we get stuck, I'm coming, we're stuck here, butterfly, or we have Delahiva, we can go all kinds of stuff from there. So low risk, low reward on this one. All right, let's give this one a shot. Ready, 1, 2, 3. It's just, we have all these different Ouchi variations, right? We've got all this stuff off of this one attack. So now how do we put it together in context? And this gets back to that concept of the I go, you go Randori that I've been working on with you guys, right? So it's like, hey, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna do an Ouchi fake to an Osoto throw, and then we'll just go. And it's like, oh, I gotta push, I gotta pull, I gotta find my entrance. Oh, right? He knows the throw's coming. Once we get to that position, everybody concedes, rounds over, and we start again, okay? And then you get to pick one. So Ouchi Gari to, I don't know, Kata Garuma or whatever, right? And if you don't know the names, it's fine. No one's judging on your spelling today, but do your best to convey that stuff to your partner. We'll go, we'll do like 1 minute rounds, and we'll do 1 minute, and then we'll switch people. So if you want to go for, you go first, I go first, and then we go back and forth, do that for a minute, and then we'll swap people so that we can all get different sizes and shapes and stuff, okay? All right, so grab water real quick, we'll get started. Put some time on the clock, we'll be like a real class. So 1 minute, ready? I said go. There it goes. Hey. Let's see here. I'll go Ouchi to Dayashi. Hey. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. No, go. You're all 1 minute, right?
No, it's back and forth for a minute.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go Ouchi to Kumanagi.
Nice. Great timing. That was cool. That was cool. All right, let's go Ouchi Gari to Osoto. Oh no, I think I lost my microphone somewhere. All right, switch partners. See, that's why I said like I go, you go, because we'll only get like one each. Oh, yeah, we'll go. All right. Push.
I'll go for the
Yeah.
Osoto and then this. What is that? This one?
Dayashi. Dayashi Barai.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Dude, great timing. Good. Yeah, I'll do the same. I've gotten lucky a couple times today. Nice. So Osoto to, or Dayashi, or now we'll go Ouchi to Osoto. Yeah. Go, finish. Nice. All right, switch again. Hush. What do you want?
G to the front through.
Yeah, perfect. Nice. I'll do the same. Hush.
How the heck on the other side? Oh, same thing.
Okay.
Gotta master one a little.
Turn your hips more. So when you sweep, try to be perpendicular to the sweep. Yeah. Push. Nope. Yeah. Hush.
Same thing.
Yep. Nice. Much better. Hush.
So now I got caught. I did the turn.
All right, let's go one more. These are fun.
It's on your.
Oh, it moved. Cool. Safe. All right, whatever you want.
Ouchi Gari.
Okay. Nice. Go Ouchi to Osoto.
Even though I was watching your feet.
Yeah, yeah.
The handwork, oh my god. Osoto to Ashi.
Hush. Nice, good finish. Pull that collar down, you'll end it. Woo! All right. Hey! Good finish, good finish. All right, we'll take a break. We'll reset our thoughts. All right. Standing shape is different. All right, so now we've put some live-ish context to it. Questions we have, thoughts we have, lessons we've learned. Pretty simple? Everything was easy? No problems? Okay. Like if you were in no-gi? Yeah, you have to do it inside bicep tie. So, yeah, you would come in, you'd be here, right, head position, and then you could still pull this way, here. Push up on the elbow as you twist, and then come over. Other option is inside double ties here, and then we throw this way. And on this, because there's no gi grip, I would hook the leg. Yeah.
So if you're here, right?
Mm-hmm. You'd want to pull.
Then putting you down.
Yep. And then pull in the circle. So I step forward. Yep. And then same thing. Knee to the top of the triangle as you turn underneath.
And then when I'm coming here.
Underneath. Yep.
Wait, what about
Pull. Just pull that across.
Oh, you're putting that. You cover the elbow.
Yeah. Your shoulder clamp or elbow, whatever you're comfortable with, but keep the elbow tight. Yep. And then lift over. Yep.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's why I like inside tie here. Because then I can pull, twist, pull, and then as they come up, because they don't like this like overturn, when they come up. Yeah.
Here, right?
Yeah, so turn, like use these as steering. Yeah, so now as I come here, I'm gonna come up, bang, good. Yep. Try to stay compact until the moment of the throw. So we're in, I'm gonna be here. As you come up, see how I'm still like, the distance between my feet and my butt is low here. Now when I go to throw, that's when that distance accelerates. If I come in too tall, there's no extra lift.
I have to kind of stay low.
Stay underneath, yeah.
Here. Like, is that entry? Like here, right?
Yep.
Down. Nice, top. No.
Yeah, you want to.
I have to kind of keep you down.
You also want to use this. Twist the arms. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when I'm here.
Now.
Right,
Yes. Yeah, your entrance is all, instead of here, it's here. So now we're inside. Nice. Good. Yeah, of course. Changing the shoulders. Get the shoulder to open, coming underneath. That's for anything too, right? If you want to do like no-gi seois, here, pull this down as soon as they come up. Come all the way underneath. Right. Anything you can to twist their shoulders to get them off balance. Right, try to put their shoulders outside their hips. When they go to reset, that's your opportunity to go underneath and throw. Anything else? I think it's more fun. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's more fun when you go with me. Anything about grips, right? Because part of the I go, you go concept is that you should be also developing your gripping strategy or honing it in, working on it, developing it. So not just walking in and assuming the grips will be there and then doing the motions to get to your throw. Instead, focus on that initial setup. Like with you, right? When you reached, even when it wasn't my turn, I was still punching that sleeve across to make sure that you knew, like, oh man, I got to work to get into that sleeve. I think for you, I came up over the top a couple times, trying to give you that feel of a dominant high player grip, because we haven't really talked about that much, but somebody, especially when you play a little hunched over, the opportunity will be there to get that upper grip, and you've got to have a response to it right away before it sinks in. Tomoage is not bad. Even if it's as it comes in, just get that shoulder to the ear and parry it away, knock it off with the other hand, and then get a grip. There's a lot of things to do off of that because they're committing to that high grip. They give a lot of opportunity in the underarm, they give a lot of opportunity on the bottom leg. So these are the kinds of things that as much as the throw, as much as the sequence of events where we're like, oh, I'm gonna hit Ashi to Tomoage, I'm gonna hit Ouchi to Osoto, the other stuff too, like when you're looking at your training round, be like, man, did I struggle to get there? Like, yeah, I got the throw, okay, that's good. But did I struggle to get the grips? Could I maneuver my partner? Because I tried to overemphasize with all of you pulling to the top of that triangle. Like I pulled all of you hard into that triangle to let you feel like, hey, full speed, like the off balance is gonna be there. Yeah.
I thought that too, even going with you, is like when you have that upper body control, sometimes your opponents can end up tripping themselves.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Because you're so stiff and just.
well, I was here as the control was happening, you were moving me, my legs are gonna follow, and then I had to action myself.
Yeah. Right. Because you're so worried about upper body.
Yeah. And that works so much because, like, you know, from a jiu-jitsu perspective, right, like, I'm not worried about the throw, I'm gonna accept it. My next move is what? I gave up the 2 points, I know it's gonna happen. So what's my next point, right? So me taking the fall every single time is only gonna prepare me for, like, oh shit. Yeah.
That's a great point.
Oh yeah, I never thought.
Like we should also incorporate that
When somebody throws.
in an immediate reaction right after the throw. So we don't stop at the throw. We go from the throw to, if you threw somebody, get to that dominant position, whether it's, you know, side control, mount, whatever. And if you're bottom, think of getting your knees in between, getting to a guard or whatever your next move's gonna be. That's probably, especially like in the weeks to come as we get closer to Naga and IBJJF, we probably should. Yeah,
So I think that
we'll put that in the plan.
that Ouchi, like, after we've talked about it, that Ouchi or Kochi to from the get-go is
Yeah.
a surprise. And it's gonna allow you to get grips, and even if they trip themselves up, you can end up in a fucking armbar position right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I felt like. You know, we were freaking just tearing my freaking body apart. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I did come out a little strong. Sorry.
Well, I mean, that's perfect because that's I don't play that game up top. And
Yeah.
if someone does play that game, like, you know, someone just ripping my collar in the open, I'm already on the defensive.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate that because now it's like, okay, I'm gonna get thrown. But I'm not ready for it.
It's wrong.
I wish I had this class.
Well.
Overhead, my head.
I would also say for you, like when you're working on foot sweeps, you got to think of the angle that the foot needs to be in. So we need to get our hips almost perpendicular to our partner to make that Ashi work. Like if you're gonna pull the foot across, you want to have enough room in your hips to push that foot all the way around. So if I can borrow you real quick, Phil. So when we're because you wanted to go Ouchi to Ashi. So we came in and we went bang and we got him here. Then you were only able to get like this little like half lip and your knee had to bend to make it work anyway. So what we want to do is we want to come here this way and then see my hips. My belt is already pointed towards my partner's hips. So yes, we're in the same position here, but to execute the throw as I drive through them, I almost end up to where I'm almost perpendicular to him. So I'm trying to rotate through so that my foot can come all the way across. Yeah, and you can finish the sweep. Like if you noticed when I think I did it to you too, when I hit that sweep, there was a lot of force from my hip because it wasn't checked by the length of my leg. I could actually like swing all the way through.
Well,
Yeah.
It felt like a check. It felt like a check, but because he was pushing, so like just like what you did. You were pushing. Like I went.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
But yeah, so make sure that like we're turning the angle. So we get here and then we want to turn to make that foot sweep happen. I think of other things. It's crazy. There's we only did like 3 or 4 rounds too, and I'm like trying to think of all the stuff that we went through. Yeah. And then, yeah, I would really emphasize just working on getting to those gripping positions. So like when we started out, like, and maybe I should have emphasized it more, but when we first start, when we come here, like, right, like this is what I'm talking about. Like as soon as he reached, even if he gets a hold of it, I'm still connected and it's like an aggressive connection. So whatever he thought about doing, if he was gonna pull or whatever, all of that has to get changed. And if he's gonna walk out and just grab that, then I'm gonna immediately assume this and try to push it as far across as possible. And then once I do that, I'm gonna start to close the distance to force him. And that's what led me to do this to a lot of you guys, right? Because everybody came in, when I got close here, everybody bent over and then everybody turned to face. And so then I just pulled from the top of the gi here. And then look where his foot is. Ouchi, bang, right to Ashi. Right, it was just waiting. So, and all that came from was this. This is what set the whole thing up, was the sleeve grip. And once I got control of it and I pushed it over, now I'm forcing you into a bad spot. Pull, step, bang. Okay, so it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It's all back to pulling to the top of the triangle and controlling this pistol grip. It's like day one stuff, right? If we get pistol grip to the hip and then we can connect our hand, we can pull to the top of the triangle and it's dealer's choice from here, right? So hopefully this gives you guys a little more context, and we'll keep adding to this. I know we only did like a few rounds here at the end, but if we get more people too, we'll do more rounds. But my goal is to just expand on this kind of training at the end of class. I think we probably have enough techniques in the bag. We'll go over like reviewing techniques. Like next week, we'll probably go over the Russian tie dilemma stuff, just because we haven't touched it in a while. But we'll do that, and then we'll go into more rounds like this to build up our capacity and give us more time to think about judo in context. And then I think that's a great idea. We'll add the one position after the throw. So bottom person's got to get to a guard, top player's got to get to a dominant position, and then stand back up. And smart. All right. Anything else? Questions? Good? All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it, dude. Thanks for coming, dude. Seriously.
Good.
I appreciate the work. Thank you. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tyler. Hope your kid's doing great. In the beginning, I would say focus on forcing the reaction rather than finding it.
Okay.
The finding it bit will come later, and you won't be looking for it. You'll be feeling it. So like when I get to this position, if I can feel that he's settled, I'll take the back leg. If I can feel that he's running away from me, I'll take this. But for right now, force the issue with our hand. So as we pull around and we step through, I want to pull. I'm forcing that step. Now I hit and I push his hand away so that I force him into this position. Now I follow with bringing the elbow in, and then I bring my leg together. Right? So I don't have to wait on him to make a decision. In this case, I push and then I take the foot.
Jumping ahead.
Yeah. We can force this play all day. So if we're here, right, I want to move him into the top of the triangle here. Now when I go for Ouchi, I don't care what his normal reaction is going to be. I'm going to dictate the reaction. So I'm going to hit with my thigh against his thigh. Right? Boom. Push it. He just, because he had no choice but to like step back. And so,
trees in the forest.
and so if he has to step back to catch himself, the leg automatically becomes light. If we go a little bit and we just go, he can base. And so now I have a decision to make. Like, do I push and sweep, or do I step, or do I do both? Whatever, right?
We do both.
Well, because sometimes, right, we just go, boom, right? We hit both. But if I want this throw, if this is the thing I'm working for, I've got to force that leg to go really far away so that that leg becomes light. And I do that with this Ouchi Gari entrance where I hit and I push him over. See, because now he's like leaning that way, which makes this leg light, which means it's sweepable. Yeah.